Hello, educators, parents, and friends. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I am Dr. Blissfull, and I am here to give you parents, educators, and anyone else tips and tricks on elementary education, build those foundational skills, and the love of reading for your kiddos or students. I am also the author of Breaking Free of Bullying. In there, I give you strategies to keep your kiddos and you safe, happy, and emotionally well. If you are a returning guest, shaka and how's it? So today I am feeling blissfully content. Tomorrow is New Year's, and I'm excited to bring in the 2024 season with you. And hopefully, 2023 wasn't bad. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Wasn't bad. So just more of that, more abundance, more wealth, more friendships, more health, more amazing videos, and hopefully you are uh, doing well. In addition, getting ready for the kiddos to go back to school, and we're going to try and cover you for the rest of the week until then. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our lesson that we began yesterday or the day before, or whenever it was, called labeling. So I'm going to think about that for a moment. Labeling. Oh, we labeled the house. Yes. So we're on to lesson 7. Yes, we labeled the house, and now we're going to talk about what those words mean. Now, when we are doing sight words, again, we want to remember that this builds the confidence in your students and kiddos. They're kiddos that are struggling to. So as a reminder, when we are using words that are familiar to your kids and children, it's congruent with their everyday lifestyle. You set them up for success because they already know their purposes and what they're called. We're moving on now to nouns. So when we labeled the house, we labeled refrigerator, table, light switch, television. And I gave you some strategies on some games that you can do, either competitive or if you only have an only child that way, and also as well as classroom activities. So the next thing we want to do is introduce the nouns to your kiddos. Excuse me. Okay, so as I look at my notes, the standards for using nouns are such. Pre-K is to describe familiar people, places, things, and events. In kindergarten, it's to use common everyday nouns. First grade is to use common nouns and proper nouns. Second grade is use collective nouns, so like as a group, for example. And in third grade, it's more explaining the function of nouns, and also to use regular and irregular plural nouns. That'll have to be in a different lesson. But ideally, again, we're talking about kids that are struggling. So this may be appropriate for kids in third or even fourth grade who are still struggling with what a noun is and their uses and functions, and to be able to explain that properly. Okay, so once we have labeled the house, we went ahead and had your kiddos, the students, trace the cards. So what I've gone ahead and done, I'm going to step up here because you probably can't see it. I've gone ahead and labeled some things, and what I started with is nouns. So you've noticed that nouns is in green. Again, we're giving some choices. We're going to put these up on the wall. You don't have to put them up on the wall. I'm just doing it so it's better visually for you. You can go ahead and put it in their journal notebook that you created. And then go ahead and ask them what color they want to use because we're going to color code them. So nouns is going to be one color. Then we'll have a different color for verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, prepositions, so on and so forth. Let's see how far this lesson goes. So then you say, do you know what a noun is? Well, depending on their grade level, right? So person or people, place, thing. I put animal here, an idea. They also said events. So what I've gone and done here is when we talked about the things in our house and we labeled them, you would have your kids go ahead and put them in the right column. Now, again, if you don't want to use the wall, I completely understand. You can go ahead and use their notebook. And you could just go ahead and basically just put it in their notebook. If it's bigger, obviously make columns, but you want to color code it, and they can just put it in a smaller version. I like it up on the board, and if you're a teacher, you're going to put it up on the board because it's a visual that they can see. So we know that what's a noun? Person, place, thing, event, people. Okay. So go ahead and tell me some people in our family. So they might say, well, we have Bellini. Okay, who's Bellini? Bellini's our cat. Okay. So let's put Bellini up on the wall and the column. What is Bellini? Is Bellini a person, a place, a thing, an animal, or an idea? And they should say animal. So you said, could go ahead and put it in the animal section. So I'm going to do that right here. So Bellini, oops, Bellini fell. Who is Bellini? Well, Bellini's our cat. Okay. So before we put them up on the wall, you want to trace them. You want to have them trace it, always trace it. And you'll notice that these are traced in green because our nouns are going to be green. And it's color coded to remind them that for our lesson in our home, the nouns are going to be green. So you might want to ask your child's teacher, if you're doing this at home, if they use this format. And if not, maybe encourage them to do so. You want it to be congruent, so make sure that you're using this, if they are doing it, using the same color coding system that you are. So if your teacher's nouns are red, then use red, so on and so forth. So Bellini is our cat. So why does Bellini have a capital B and cat have a lowercase c? What is the difference? Well, the cat is an animal, so we're going to go ahead and put cat up there under animal. Okay. Bellini is her name. So we need to put a capital B because all names begin with a capital letter. So we can also put Bellini the cat under animal, which is the noun. Okay, who else is in your family? Dad. Dad's in the family. Again, tracing with green. Where's Dad going to go? Under thing, animal, idea. Sometimes he's an animal, right? No, I'm just kidding. We're going to put him under people or persons. Now, why is dad lowercase and not capital? Well, because he's a dad, but that's not his name. Right. So what is his name? His name's Carter. Okay. So Carter has a capital C. So we're going to put Carter under dad because they're both people and places. Who else is in the family? I'm in the family. What's your name? My name's Stacy. Okay. Stacy gets a capital letter because that's her name. Where's that going to go? And so on and so forth. So you get the drift. And then we have mom. And then if they know mom's name, you could go ahead and put that up. So that's the gist of the lesson today. And you're going to build and add to your, I guess we can call it noun wall, word wall, whatever you want to call it. Again, if you want to continue the lesson at our higher form, you're going to go to the standard. So if they're pre-K, they're going to describe each and everything. Well, what does Bellini look like? Well, Bellini's orange. She has white fur. It's going to be more oral. If you want to challenge your pre-K student, you can also use this format. So again, if you want to extend these lessons, you already know the system. Okay, give me a sentence with Carter. Give me a sentence with Stacy, or pick two people nouns and draw a picture or write a sentence about it. The same thing with things and animals, and you just build and continue on with that. That is our lesson for today, my friends, educators, parents. If you like this lesson and others, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, ring the bell, add some comments, and I will also add some extra videos so that you can go back and see how the lesson uh, formulates deconstructed from the very beginning. Okay, that's it. I hope everyone has a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2024. Shaka.